Welcome to another Structural Academy lesson. Could reinforcing a beam compromise the safety of a column? Although this may seem counterintuitive, in seismic design the answer is yes. That is precisely what we will demonstrate. In this article, we walk through the workflow for the seismic design of a building, from modeling in SAP 2000 to verifying the strong column weak beam capacity design criterion in VIS. This check is also available in SAP 2000, but here we will focus on VIS. The structure is a moment-resisting frame composed of columns, beams, and core walls. Our goal is to understand the principles behind each verification. The underlying concept is capacity design. In a seismic-resistant structure, plastic hinges should form in the beams, where energy can be dissipated in a ductile manner, and not in the columns, where failure could lead to the collapse of an entire story. This is exactly what the strong column weak beam criterion is intended to ensure. Starting with the structural elements, the beams have a cross-section of 30 by 50 centimeters. While the typical columns are 40 by 40 centimeters. The structural cores complete the lateral load-resisting system. To keep the example focused, we use a single seismic action and create a seismic ultimate limit state load combination from it. Although a complete project would also include the fundamental gravity load combinations, focusing exclusively on this seismic combination allows us to clearly observe the capacity design mechanism. We run the analysis and ask SAP 2000 for the required reinforcement areas, following Eurocode 2 and Eurocode 8. The required longitudinal reinforcement areas are then displayed. We will now export the model to VIS. We select the relevant load combination in this form. To start, we must check the general settings. In this case, we activate the seismic option for the Eurocode 8 detailing rules and set the structure to ductility class medium. This choice enforces the relevant capacity design criteria. At this stage, the column reinforcement designed in SAP 2000 is automatically transferred to VIS. As a result, the columns are already defined with their longitudinal and transverse reinforcement, which can be reviewed directly in the model. Beam reinforcement, however, is not imported and will be designed separately in VIS. Before doing so, we can adjust specific reinforcement rules, such as the acceptable rebar diameters. Looking closely at a beam, we can compare the required reinforcement area with the reinforcement actually provided. On the left, the PMM interaction ratios provide an immediate indication of the section utilization. In addition, all relevant calculation information can be consulted, making it easier to understand and review the checks that led to the utilization ratio. We can also request a detailed calculation report for the element. Looking closely at a beam next to a column, we notice a practical detail. The required top reinforcement was 4.81 square centimeters, but 6 square centimeters were actually provided. This rounding up ensures a clean and continuous reinforcement layout, which is common practice. Now we check the beam-column ratio for the joint shared by columns 19 and 20. The beam-column verification ratio is 0.94, evaluated for the minimum axial load. Eurocode 8 requires the lowest resisting moment within the expected range of axial forces to be used. The sum of the column's flexural capacities must exceed the sum of the beam's capacities by a factor of 1.3. VIS performs this check in biaxial bending, meaning that the demand from the beams must fit entirely within the biaxial capacity envelope of the columns. Now comes the most important part. We will add two 12mm rebars to the beam's top reinforcement near the support. Reinforcement editing is fully flexible and easy to implement. In this case, we remove the unnecessary reinforcement bars. We can then adjust the bar length and modify the bar diameter. Instantly, the joint verification ratio jumps from 0.94 to 1.07. The joint no longer passes the verification, as shown by the capacity envelope. Here lies the lesson. In capacity design, the internal forces at the joint are not taken directly from the external load effects, they are derived from the flexural capacities of the beams. Each additional rebar placed in a beam increases its plastic resisting moment, which directly increases the demand on the column. Reinforcing a beam beyond what is strictly necessary may therefore require stronger columns in order to maintain the intended hierarchy of strengths. The weak beam must remain relatively weak by design. Every extra square centimeter of reinforcement in a beam represents an additional demand transferred to the surrounding columns and, consequently, to the global seismic behavior of the structure. As a final note specific to SAP2000, if you need to maintain a fixed reinforcement ratio for the strong column weak beam check, you can manually define the top and bottom reinforcement at the beam ends. This can be done through the concrete reinforcement menu, using the reinforcement overwrite for ductile beams option.